This year's freshman class may not be at the same level as last season's historic group led by Juju Watkins and Hannah Hidalgo, but still, this class is pretty darn good. It features the leading scorer on the number 2 team in college basketball, a 6'2" forward doing everything on the basketball court at a high level at UConn, and plenty more. So today I want to rank the 4 best freshmen in each Power 4 conference, ACC, SEC, Big 12, and Big 10, along with the Big East. At the end, I want to give my updated rankings for the National Player of the Year award. That said, let's get right into it, starting with the SEC. So my pick for the Freshman of the Year in the SEC is Michaela Blakes at Vanderbilt. I had high expectations for Blakes coming into the season, talked about her in the preseason a lot on the channel, but she's even exceeded my expectations. She is averaging 20.2 points per game on 56, 30, 85 shooting splits. The defensive playmaking, Vanderbilt plays an aggressive defensive scheme. Blakes excels in that role. She gets out in transition, can make plays getting downhill to the rim. She is shooting 30% from 3, and you may think that she is not a good shooter, but she takes over 7 3-point attempts per game, one of the higher marks in all of college basketball. So a lot of what she does is on the ball versus like off the ball, spotting up, playing off another high usage creator. She is that player. She is the one asked to create advantages and really be that engine to Vanderbilt's offense. Number 2 now is Joyce Edwards, 6'3" freshman forward, consensus top 2 to 3 recruit in the 2024 high school class. Joyce this season is averaging over 12 points per game and leads South Carolina in scoring. I did not expect that in the preseason. That was not on my bingo card. From the first game of the season, it was evident to me that this is a special athlete. She can guard anybody on the basketball court. There's some fun ball skills getting downhill, but recently we've seen the passing come together more as far as like fewer turnovers, making better decisions. Also, like as a driver, she's been way better around the rim. The efficiency that she is playing at currently over her last 5 to 6 games is impressive stuff for a freshman. You can see the development that she is making every single game, improving at a rapid pace. To begin SEC play at only 21 minutes per game, South Carolina has so much depth, she doesn't get to play 30 minutes a night, but she's averaging 14.3 points and 4.5 rebounds on 65% from 2. Now, number 3 for me is Sierra Chinu, a 6' freshman wing at Mississippi. Sierra is one of the most underrated players in the country. She wasn't ranked in her high school class, did not even have an ESPN recruiting profile. But this season, as a true freshman, she has been arguably the best player on this Mississippi team and plays this 3-and-D plus role to perfection. She can attack closeouts, get downhill. She is long, athletic, slippery. Then from 3, she makes spot-up threes at a super high clip, over 40% on the season. Defensively, you can tell why Coach Yo recruited Sierra. Like, this is the perfect Coach Yo defensive player. She has active hands, she can switch, she can make plays all over the court. She's averaging over 3 steals per game in only 25.4 minutes per game. This is historic stuff. This is the highest steal rate, 6.1% so far this season. The highest by a high major freshman in the Her Hoop Stats era, which goes back to 2009. Her steal rate is currently higher than Hannah Hidalgo's was last season. In fact, in one of her recent games, she had 29 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 7 steals. This has only been done by 2 freshmen in the Her Hoop Stats era, the other player being Hannah Hidalgo, of course. So when you pair this defensive ability with what she can do as a shooter, I've been asking for many seasons for Coach Yo to recruit and have a consistent wing that can defend and make spot-up threes. Not even asking for her to go out and get a 30-foot pull-up three-point shooter that can make step-back side steps and make threes out of pick and roll. Just consistent spot-up shooting is what they've needed, and Sierra does just that. Moving on from the SEC to the Big Ten, the Big Ten's freshman talent this season is night and day between last season. There's 7 freshmen minimum in this year's class that would have won the award last season. First for me, though, is Jelani Cambridge, 5'6", speedy guard at Ohio State. She is averaging 15 points, over 4 rebounds, over 4 assists, in only 24.4 minutes per game. A lot of what she does is on the ball, similar to Michaela Blakes. She will take threes, but a lot of it is off the dribble, space creation stuff. Can shoot threes, I believe. I buy the jumper, the mechanics long term with Cambridge. She is so fast. Like in transition, one of the very best transition players in all of college basketball. The perfect player for McGuff's system. We saw it with J.C. Sheldon. Cambridge is that fast and maybe even quicker getting downhill. One player Cambridge does remind me of is Mariah Jefferson at UConn. Mo Jeff was an awesome college guard and was a really high-level prospect. The injuries is kind of what caused her to go downhill and hasn't been as great over the last couple seasons. But still, I see some comparisons between Jelani's current game and what we saw from Mo Jeff in college and her early WNBA career. For number 2 and 3 in the Big Ten, it is Michigan's star freshman duo with Silas Swords and Olivia Olson. They have been Michigan's 2 best players, such a young team, starting 3 freshmen, and that's what's been so impressive to me about this Michigan team. They start 3 freshmen and they play up to their competition. They have held their own against South Carolina and UCLA, the 2 best teams in the country this season. Michigan may not be some high-level tournament team this season, but 1 year from now, 2 years from now, they are going to be very scary in the Big Ten. Number 4 may be a surprise to some because I talked about Kiyomi early in the season, and she is averaging more points than both Olivia Olson and Silas Swords, also more points than Jelani, but Kiyomi hasn't been consistent in games against real opponents. She had that great game against Virginia Tech. She's had moments in all of these different games. The talent is clear in day. She scores more points on pull-up jumpers than any player in college basketball. But the defensive consistency, the decision-making, like just tunnel vision, crazy tunnel vision, I understand it to some extent. Rutgers does not have much talent. A Kiyomi contested pull-up 2 is probably a higher percentage shot than her open teammate. But building those good habits will be important for her long-term beyond just this season, assuming she wants to play in the WNBA, which is kind of what I would expect to be her end goal here. The talent's clear. She could be one of the best players in the country in a couple seasons. Is it at Rutgers? Is it somewhere else? We'll see. Also, quick shout-outs to Britt Prince at Nebraska. She's been fun, done some fun things at Nebraska. Alina Arnasola at UCLA, Kennedy Smith as well at USC in that 3-and-D role. Really fun defensively. She makes plays on that end. Let's now go to the ACC. My pick is Danny Carnegie, guard at Georgia Tech. She is averaging over 15 points per game. She did go down with a hamstring injury in Georgia Tech's first loss against Virginia Tech. Only played 6 minutes. They dropped basically 3 games in a row without Danny on the court, and that's huge for them. She's been their best player this season on a pretty solid Georgia Tech team. Are they a top 10 team? Probably not, but this team is good. 16-3 on the season. Hopefully she's back soon because the scoring she provides, like the shot creation, the deep shooting from 3 on spot ups, it's all huge for this Georgia Tech team. Then 2, 3, and 4 for me is Toby Fournier at Duke, forward center, Taj Roberts at Louisville, guard, then Kate Caval, Notre Dame center. You could make a strong case for Toby to be the pick here, especially if Danny misses like 3 to 4 more games and she doesn't play a ton in ACC play, and when she does come back, she may or may not be playing at 100%. We'll see there. Also, some other considerations for Zam Jones at NC State. The shooting, the passing moments. Zam is so electric with the ball in her hands. Then another shout out to Chit Chat Wright at Georgia Tech. She has stepped in as a starter recently. Small guard, but plays extremely hard and can make threes and pass it a little bit. For the Big 12 in their first year without Texas and Oklahoma, this freshman class hasn't been great, but Delaney Gibb at BYU is my early pick. She's averaging over 16 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, 3.8 assists, over 4 turnovers, high usage role for this team as a true freshman at the Power 4 level. So it makes sense for those growing pains to be there, especially against teams like West Virginia that press and play so hard. Those schemes are going to create problems for a true freshman. She's been good. A good player. She makes threes. She can pull up from deep, can operate ball screens, can get downhill, has some fun passing moments. I think Delaney Gibbs is going to be a really nice player at BYU. Can already see it. She's 5'10", has that good size to play on and off the ball. In the Big East as well, there's a clear pick here. No debate. It is Sarah Strong, freshman forward at UConn. Sarah does everything. The 2-point efficiency and what she can do as a driver getting downhill, the handle, the passing ability at her size, the defensive ability. She can do everything. She's a good helper. She can guard multiple positions. She's been able to make threes and space the floor. Showed moments as a shot creator. Sarah Strong has insane upside. She is going to be a superstar at the college level, a superstar in the W. It doesn't make sense that this is the worst that she's going to be. 73% from 2 and 37% from 3 as a high usage freshman doing everything is the worst she's going to be. Is scary. Sarah Strong is not just the best freshman in the Big East, but I would say the best freshman in college basketball. Yes, she missed those free throws against Notre Dame, but besides that, she's looked so calm on the court. 3.6 assists to like around 1.6 turnovers, which is hilarious. Like, she should not be this good this quickly. Very good basketball player. Sarah Strong, good at hoop. Another shout out to Jasmine Basco at Villanova, 5'7" guard out of Canada. She's done some fun stuff for that team as a true freshman. Finally, to wrap things up, my top 5 freshmen in college basketball currently, like I said, number 1 is Sarah Strong, number 2 is Michaela Blakes, number 3 is Joyce Edwards, number 4 is Jelani Cambridge, then number 5 is between Sierra Chinu, Olivia Olson, Silas Swords, one of those 3 players. I'm not really sure. It's very close there. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love to spotlight draft prospects currently, but I also love to build data points on multiple drafts. So whenever they're a senior, you can look back at my notes from their freshman year. Where have they improved from? Where have they not improved their game? Having those data points are huge for prospects. It's a reason why scouting is different in the W than it is in the NBA. NBA, it's a lot theoretical, more theoretical. When you have players that played 1 year in college, may have been in like a bad situation where they did not play many minutes, they did not have a good coach, a good development system. That is different than the W, where you have like 4 years of college sample size, where if a player doesn't show much in 4 years, doesn't show improvements in areas, it's just probably not going to happen. If they peak early, that's also a bad sign. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this freshman class. Great class. It's not historic like last year's, but still a lot of fun players that could have a future at the pro level in the W. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you in the next video.